Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Got an email this week from Tom in Hilliard, and he says that my lawn is treated for grubs every year by a lawn company, and the lawn is grub-free. My problem is the flower beds. Now, he says the raccoons and skunks have been digging up the beds, and he started looking around and shoveling down in his beds, and sure enough, every shovel of soil he turned over, there was what you used to call a land shrimp.
That's right.
Yeah, a grub. And his question is, Tom asks, can I use grub control in the flower beds?
Well, I don't know of any reason why not. Now, sometimes you have to take those questions through the number on the bottle of material or bag of material to go into depth with the technical people at the company. But I don't see any reason. This is a grubicide, if you want to generalize it. I can't think of any reason why it couldn't be used. It's not going to be hurting the roots of anything I know of. It shouldn't stymie any growth. It's just going to kill the vermin that are there. And then let me suggest, however, that in terms of grubs in the lawn, because of the way the little rascals work, they allow that if you were to think square foot and go to 5 places in your yard and just simply use a sharp spade, cut a square foot of soil, get down at least 2 inches, and lift that pad out. The count number is usually stated to be if there are more than 12 grubs in that square foot, then you by all means should definitely use the grub controls. If they're less than that, you find 1 or 2 or 3. It is alarming to find the rascals there, but it's part of nature as a matter of speaking. And nobody, well, at least none of the professionals I've talked to get concerned until there are 12. Then they are going to be enough of them eating that they can lay off the lawn into slabs of sod or what was sod. I don't know why in the world he couldn't use them in the beds. I guess the one thing I would recommend is they're going to be coming back up from their deeper digs, so to speak, in the spring. They make wonderful fish bait. But at the same time, they will be eating the roots of the perennial plants and things in the beds. So I don't know of any reason not to attack them. I can't imagine anything harmful from having used a grub control in the beds.
And would it be the same sort of application, just spread it on top like you would on the lawn, or do you have to get it into the soil?
Well, now, actually, in most flower beds, I say most, well, it's going to leave it at that. Most flower beds are probably not mulched too deeply, and that will make the grub control even more active because it'll get down into the soil probably even quicker than it would in the basic thatch and growth of the lawn. So, yeah, I would say normal distribution, the whole bit.
Same timing and everything. Just when you put it on, when it gets put on the lawn, spread a little in the beds.
That's right. And as to spreading it and it coming down through the soil to get the kill done, I would definitely think in terms of the same timing, same amount. I don't think there'd be any difference at all. And just knowing the cycle of grubs, right now, they're going to be eating on the lawn, or have done so during the summer, that makes the lawn look puny right now. Probably the grubs are headed on down as this temperature drops down. And as we were just talking with Pat, in terms of soil temperature, the grubs, the cooler it gets, the deeper the grub's going to go just to be insulated for the winter purposes. Then back up in the spring. Spring, the lawns are moving, and other plants are moving fast enough in growth that the grubs don't show up as a detriment. But when it comes the hot, dry period, and they're still chewing down there, and the grass and other things are not growing as fast, then's when the grubs show up. So it's a life cycle thing in terms of the whole application process, and I don't know why it would be any different in the beds.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Hauer and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com